Beloved in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, beloved in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, this is a very urgent message, a very urgent message in relation to the independent church movement, like with Andrew Henriquez, Gerald Cofer, the independent ministry movement that are outside the organized churches, the 2520 Brethren, the Free Adventist movement, who do not support the conference churches with a tithe and offering or presence, who preach subversive doctrines that the conference does not, Orthodox conference ministers do not preach. This is taken from Selected Messages Book 2, Selected Messages Book 2, the chapter dealing with the divine credentials, Look what Sister White says in this chapter here. Your dear brother M, your letter addressed to me was received at the beginning of the Sabbath. I should advise you to attend the school and not to leave this country until you become thoroughly settled in your mind as to what is truth. I sincerely hope you will attend this term of school and learn all you can in regard to this message of truth that is to go to the world. The Lord has not given you a message to call the Seventh-day Adventist Church Adventist Babylon and to call the people of God to come out of her. All the reasons you may present cannot have weight with me on this subject, because the Lord has given me decided light that it is opposed to such a message. I do not doubt your sincerity and honesty. I have written long letters at different times to those who are accusing the Church of Seventh-day Adventists of being Babylon, that they were not handling the truth. You think individuals have prejudice in my mind. If I'm in this state, I am not fitted to be entrusted with the work of God. But this matter has been brought before me, my mind, in other cases where individuals have claimed to have messages of the Seventh-day Adventist Church of a similar character, and the word has been given me, believe them not, I have not sent them, and yet many ran. Now this is a section called The Church in Selected Messages Book 2, The Church not to be broken up. The church not to be broken up. This is taken from Selected Messages Book 2, beloved. The chapter called The Divine Credentials. And again I say, the Lord have not spoken by any messenger who calls a church that keeps the commandments of God Babylon. True, there are tares with the wheat, but Christ said he would send his angels to first gather the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into the garner. I know that the Lord loves his church. It is not to be disorganized or broken up into independent atoms. There is not the least consistency in this. There is not the least evidence that such a thing will be. Those who shall heed this false message and try to leaven others will be deceived and prepared to receive advanced illusions, and they will come to naught. There is in some of the members of the church pride and self-sufficiency, stubborn unbelief, and refusing to yield their ideas. Although evidence may be piled upon evidence, which makes the message to the Laodicean church applicable, but that will not blot out the church, that it will not exist. Let both tares and wheat go together unto the harvest. This, then, it is the angels that do the work of separation. I warn the Seventh-day Adventist Church to be careful how you receive every new notion, and those who claim to have great light. The character of their work seems to be to accuse and to tear down. My brother, I would say to you, be careful. Go not one step farther in the path you have entered upon. Walk in the light while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. John 12:35. You complain of being treated coldly in Battle Creek. Did you go with a humble spirit? To those who are spiritual and say, will you examine the scriptures with me? Shall we pray over this matter? I have not the light I wanted, for error will never sanctify the soul. Can you be surprised that they would not give you all the confidence you might think they should? After the experience after the experience may have passed through. Should not the words of Christ have any weight? Beware of false prophets come to you in sheep's clothing, but only their ravening wolves. Matthew 7:15. Lo here, lo there is Christ, will be multiplied. Let the believers heed the voice of the angel who has said to the church, press together in unity in your strength, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous. God of a church and Christ have declared, the gates of hell shall not prevail against him. Matthew 16:18. The messenger of the Lord sends bear the divine credentials. I have tender feelings towards you, but come to the light, I beseech of you. Now, beloved in the Adventist church, listen carefully. God has not spoken by any messenger that the Seventh-day Adventist church is Babylon. If a messenger calls the Seventh-day Adventist church Babylon, like the Shepherds do, or the Branch Davidians do, or the siege ambassadors do, they're an apostasy, brother. Do not follow them. People like Dime Tabernacle Church here in Huntsville, off of Blue Spring Road, they're an apostasy. They have an independent Adventist church. They break away from the organized Seventh-day Adventist church. They take tithes away from the Seventh-day Adventist church. They criticize the Adventist church. People like the Free Seventh-day Adventists, they're not a part of the Adventist church. They have their own 501c3 separate from the Adventist church. They claim to be like a black Adventist church. They're an apostasy too. They take tithe from the Adventist church. People like the Reformed Seventh-day Adventist church, they're an apostasy too because they're breaking away from the organized Seventh-day Adventist church and they're teaching subversive doctrines different from the Adventist church. People like Andrew Enriquez, the Save to Serve Ministry, and Gerald Kofer. These ministers are an apostasy, beloved. They're an apostasy. Do not follow them. Do not go one step farther, beloved, in this apostasy, lest you be confounded, lest you be condemned, lest you be swallowed up alive. They claim to have new light. They claim that the church is under a 501c3 tax status, and that's why they want to get tithe and offering from the church. They want to give tithe and offering to the church. Bible says, and Sister White says, if you have problems with the way the tithe and offering is being run at the head of the church, make your request known to those. Make your request known to those in the right spirit, beloved. Make your request known to those in the right spirit. If you have problems with how the tithe is being used, beloved, make your request known to the right spirit, but do not withhold the tithe and incur the curse of God, beloved. Faithful stewardship. Testaments of Church 5:9. So make your requests known to those in the right humble spirit and return your tithe to the conference churches, beloved. Otherwise, in testimonies to ministers, gospel workers, the remnant church, not Babylon, she says, take off your shoes because the place where you're standing is holy ground if you reject the principle of returning a faithful tithe and offering to the conference churches. Return a faithful tithe and offering to the conference churches, beloved. And be a part of the organized remnant church. The remnant church will go on and upward. Pharaohs will clear the sun and terrible as an army with banners. Armor with banners. Check out Revelation 12:17. The remnant church, which the 5 wise and 5 foolish virgins in Matthew 25. The remnant church, those who keep the commandments of God, have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Stay true and faithful. God bless you. Do not separate from the organized Seventh-day Adventist church. God bless you. Maranatha.